If you don't know, I'm a big Zelda fan, and a little while ago I was playing Ocarina of Time when I stumbled into this character that people have been calling the OL guy. During my first couple playthroughs of Ocarina of Time, I never really thought much of this character, or much of the other characters, to be frank, but after watching a video about the OL guy from somebody called The Legend, I became interested myself, and I wanted to do some research to see if I could find anything. Before we talk immediately about the OL guy, let's talk about where he's from. Kakariko Village is a small peaceful village that can be found in Hyrule. It was built by an ancient race called the Sheikah, and one of its members, Impa, who happens to also be Zelda's attendant, was born and raised there. It is in Impa's house in which you are able to find the OL guy, who immediately scolds you for entering other people's houses without permission, even though he himself is in Impa's house without permission. He only has two other pieces of dialogue. In one, he talks about the lady who's behind his house who raises and tends the cuckoos, and he explains that she is going through hard times and that if we were ever to talk to her that we should make sure to listen. Other than that, he just talks about how he had heard about the ghost of Dompe the Gravekeeper can be found in the graveyard at night. Now, let's talk about what you can find in the house where he is. One could argue that this is Impa's stuff, and since it's her house, but shut up, nuh-uh. Not true, you're wrong, and very stupid. Looking through the house, there really wasn't much to look at. Overall, it seems like a normal house. And all that really stands out are the buckets and mops by the door, a painting, a bunch of jars, boarded windows, a cow? Wait, is that... No. Is that an adult toy on the table? No, there's no way. There's no way. It has been several days since the discovery of the OL guy's device that he keeps on his table. I've been looking into this person a little more, and I don't really know what to do with this information. If you can't tell already by the change of scenery, I was forced to move out from my old dorm because my obsession made my old roommate uncomfortable.
Mom, no, I'm serious. Don't hang up.
I've tried telling other people about my findings, but they won't believe me. I called Nintendo. They hung up on me, and they won't answer any of my calls. I've left numerous voicemails. But you're still here. It's been 3 months since I have found the device on the OL guy's table. My school has put me on academic leave, and my therapists and parents are monitoring me so I can recover my mental health from this obsession. Right now, I'm in my basement because I don't want them to know I'm doing this right now. They don't know I'm here right now. It's 4 a.m. right now. I'm going to be using notes from my phone so I don't forget anything. Let's look at what is in this man's house. If you look just under the second floor, you will notice there's a stack of books on a table with some jars on it, completely shrouded in darkness. And I don't think he's reading Shakespeare's classics down there, because he's keeping it in the dark, out of the way, so you don't see what he's reading. In addition, the windows are boarded there. Boarded. He doesn't want anyone to see what he's doing in the dark over there. This also explains why he's so defensive when you go into his house and talk to him. Like, what are you trying to hide, man? Okay, I don't think they know I'm here still. I think they went back to bed. Notice how
Said table is also positioned conveniently in front of the cage that has the cow in it. This is just a glimpse into this guy's sick and twisted mind that I will expand upon soon. Trust me. If you look closely at the books in the game, like where that table is, you will not find anything. And if you look into the developer notes of the game, you still won't find anything. However, in 1999, there was an interview with the developers of Ocarina of Time, including the head honcho himself, Miyamoto, that first appeared in a Japanese strategy guide. When looking through it, you won't see anything. But there's more than meets the eye, alright? I'm not crazy. A now taken down Reddit post by the user... I'm censoring the name for their protection. They had gotten their hands on the original transcript of the interview, and there was a very large piece of information that was left out of the publicly released interview transcript, whatever. In a very short portion of the video, the development team was asked about the OL guy and many other minor characters in the game. Eventually, they asked specifically about the OL guy, and some of the things found around his house. Once they got to the books and the table facing the cow that I was talking about earlier, in the dark, let's just, not to forget, in the dark, let's just say, it's not family friendly. Immediately following their statement, when asked if everything they said was really true, Miyamoto chimed in and said, quote, I quote, yup, yuppers. 100%. And to make sure people know it's me saying this, hello, I am Miyamoto, a very notable figure for Nintendo, and the following words coming out of my mouth were totally and definitely said 100%. Please, leave that information about this character out of the publicly released transcript so many years later, a short but oddly attractive man can find this out on his own and then make a YouTube video about it. Oh, what's YouTube, you ask? I had a dream last night that there will be an online video streaming service called that one day. Also, Santa doesn't exist. First off, shame on you, Miyamoto. You just ruined the magic of Christmas. Either way, coincidence? I think not. And to try to convey what this fiend is doing with those books, let's just put it this way, alright? He's having some fun private time, except it's not so private because he's got a captive audience, aka the cow. You know, this all makes sense, though, not only because of confirmation from Miyamoto himself, but also by looking around the house. There is a on the table right out in the open, forgotten everyone to see, jars upon jars all around the house. Classic Gooner stuff right there. All that's missing is a Rainbow Dash figure in said jars. In addition, they even designed him to look like one, to look like a Gooner, a fiend. Because if you look at his neck, you will notice that he has a massive neck lump. A neck lump nowadays is formed typically from just looking down at your phone a lot, just excessive phone use. That's why I have one and why I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. But that's not what he's doing because, you know, little known fact, this is what they don't teach you in school. They don't have phones in Hyrule. They don't have anything really. His neck lump was from straight up jorking it for hours on end to his little collection of material. Oh, and those books in the dark, those are his goon journals in which he documents his but he just hides them in a dark corner of his house in hopes that no one will see him. Additionally, he has been designed to have a low taper fade to look as normal as possible around the citizens of Hyrule. That haircut is his way of saying, yeah, I'm cool, extremely normal, and not weird at all. See, look, I'm even getting my haircuts to match the latest trends, and I'm totally not a freak. He has not one, not two. Never mind, he has two. Buckets and mops. No one needs 2 buckets and mops for that big of a space. Unless you're making a real mess that is, like, really hard to clean up for some reason. And, let's just say, we know what you're doing in there. Alright? You're not fooling anyone, Mr. Oh well guy. about that poor cow? If you look behind the house, in the same place the cow is, you will see a giant gaping hole where he got the cow inside. This menace is just taunting the cow by letting it see the world where it can no longer live freely and happily because it is stuck in this person's house. And if it jumps off, it will definitely severely injure itself and will most likely be found by this maniac and put back in the cage. And you might be thinking, what about that heart piece, huh? It's just a normal heart piece. There's nothing really to it. It's just put in a really wacky spot given the information revealed about this character thus far. Now that I've gone through all that, this guy has made himself a pretty bad track record. What's stranger is that at night, the cuckoo lady that I was mentioned before in the video can be found at his house. And all she says is for us to not mess with her chickens. I don't know if this is a subtle cry for help or if she just likes the guy for some reason. Maybe she doesn't know that he's a freak and she's convinced because of the low taper fade that he is normal. But who knows? But what I do know is that this guy should be monitored by Hyrule PD or just put on a list or a registry or something. But that's not all. In the 3DS remaster of Ocarina of Time, the house gets a total redesign, and the bucket and mops that I had mentioned before just get replaced with 2 giant pots. And the whole house is made to look like it was untouched since Impa moved out of it by placing posters all around the house about things that would aid the player throughout the game, just to make it seem like, oh, it's just a quirky little Easter egg in the game for characters to see. It's like, oh yeah, I can use this stuff for information later in the game. No! It is a fab. It is all a ruse. They're trying to hide. They're trying to cover up their tracks. They're trying to hide the fact that this guy is a fiend. And these posters would be things only that Impa would know, making it so that the guy doesn't seem like it's his house, and that he's just visiting Impa's house. Whereas, we get it, Nintendo. You're trying to cover your tracks, alright? I'm not buying it, alright? You may think everyone else is stupid, and that you can fool everyone else, but you can't fool me. You think well, I'm not crazy! Hello. I am making this video as per request of my family, my therapists, and my school. I have taken some much needed time off and away from all forms of media, and I have gotten therapy and rehabilitation. Now I realize that everything that I had thought before about this minute character in The Legend of Zelda was just a figment of my imagination, and that it was nothing more serious than that. Thank you very much for your time. I will be working on a new video soon.